I know you've been other places. I've sort of been tracking your appearances, but I need to hear it here. Your gut check on the gut check we got last night.
I mean, my gut is terrible because I think that I don't know that the folks that voted for Donald Trump, that all of them at least realize what they've signed us up for. I was listening. I thought Chris Hayes last night with you guys one thing he said that I thought was very insightful is that I think the aperture is very wide on the potential outcomes, and God willing, we fall in on the kind of manageably bad side of the outcomes. But I think that there's a very wide potential for quite disastrous outcomes. I don't know that a lot of folks signed up for that.
Well, say what that is, because I think part of it is that Trump became so crude, and I think it all goes back to grab women in the P word. I think because it's such an awful, vulgar word, no one heard it after the first time it was said. And so the crassness and the vulgarity of Trumpism was, for purposes of being able to communicate on a newscast like this, always hemmed in, always reined in. But when you say the aperture, so what does that mean? What is possible?
Well, look, here's Donald Trump's stated campaign agenda, like not hysterics, not hyperbole. Like, this is what he says. He was on the campaign trail. 1,000, 2,000% tariffs, mass deportations, drilling. So that one's, we can check that box. That's a normal Republican box. Essentially,
they never actually pull off.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't ever actually get to Infrastructure Week, but keep going.
Ending the war in Ukraine by essentially conceding to Putin, and using the Justice Department to go after his foes. Like, that's it. Like, that's the
tribunal for Liz Cheney.
Yeah, sure. He would also say some of that stuff, and then he'd also say he'd say no tax on tips. Like, but every speech, when he was on that Hannity interview, it's like, I'm going to be a dictator on day one. Like, what did he say? What am I going to do on day one? It was mass deportations, tariffs, drilling, Ukraine. Right? Like, that's the agenda. That all can just that. Like, right, just the stated part of the agenda could have very serious consequences, economic, on the tariffs, the disruption from mass deportations, obviously horrific consequences for our Democratic ally in Kyiv. But I said that, and that's just the baseline. Maybe you won't even do the baseline, right? I mean, who the hell knows with Donald Trump, right? Like, so that's what I mean when I say it's a wide aperture. Maybe he won't even do the baseline. But he's going to have a lot of people around him that want to execute on that, including, we saw Marco Rubio earlier today saying that the Senate is going to defer to him on confirmations for people like RFK Jr., et cetera. So I think it will be a more radical cabinet as well. So, I mean, that's like, my gut is just concerns about what is foreseeable, also concerns about what is unforeseeable, and I think my gut concern for the Democrats is, as we move to this conversation about people about democracy, is I hope that there's a wake-up call that it was just that at a broad level, there was one group of people that was really passionate about this, like college-educated, engaged voters, and we appreciate them, right, in the suburbs and the cities. And there was an engaged group of center-left to center-right even voters who really cared about that, but nobody else did, And I think that the Democrats a lot of times were using a language that didn't appeal to everybody else, and that felt hollow to a lot of working people, a lot of people in basically every other demographic, not basically every other demographic group.